Welcome to the thematic pitch sessions about sustainable cities. As largest event, ChangeNOW brings together change leaders to respond to today's greatest challenges of our planet: climate change, resources, and biodiversity. Development of sustainable cities becomes an emerging topic all over the world. My name is Tatiana, and I will guide and moderate this session. So let us start with the expert presentation from Kai Malkovic. Welcome, Kai, and please tell us some words about sustainable cities in general. Maybe pick the most important challenges which you face in your experience.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for doing this event, which I think shows one of the most important challenges that we have as humanity right now. A few words where I come from and why I'm here. I have been entrepreneur myself, always in the area of sustainability, in the area of renewable energy. And since 2016, when I quit my latest startup, I am acting as a mentor and coach for those that are developing technologies that make impact, especially climate impact. And during this time, I found out that the biggest challenges for humanity, well, there are many big challenges, but those that we can tackle with the technology that you have right now, they are about sustainability in cities, as more and more people, at the moment it's like half of the world, are living in cities, and this is a growing this is a development that will accelerate, that will be more and more. And with existing technologies, we already have the possibility to become much more sustainable in our cities. The problem is now how to change from these early stage technologies to mainstream, that cities can become sustainable, that circular economy can be part of our daily life in cities, that sharing economy can be part of our daily life in cities, and so on. So what I try to do in many different roles and organizations is to make impact mainstream and to make it applicable for everybody. And that's what we want to try to do in our different organizations and accelerators and also public organizations we're working with.
Thank you, Kai. It is a nice introduction, an introduction of yourself as a jury member. Now I will invite other jury members to present briefly themselves. So let's start from Fabio from Aster Capital. Please, Fabio, tell us something about yourself.
Yes, hi Tatiana, and hi everyone, and thanks for having me today. Thanks for the invitation. So I work at Aster, which is a venture capital platform active for more than 20 years, and somehow with the particularity of having committed to transformation of traditional sectors towards sustainability for across, let's say, our entire life. I've invested a lot in the energy-related, technologies and energy transition-related technologies. Now focusing increasingly more into the smart city, new mobility paradigm, as well as new infrastructure and digital infrastructure, of course. And ultimately, clearly, digital industrial revolution is also one of the macro areas of our investment thesis. We are basically present not only in France, where I'm speaking from, but also across Europe and beyond that. So today As we speak, we have an office in London, which is helpful, of course, to let's say work with UK entrepreneurs. We do the rest of Europe mostly either from London or from Paris, and then we have also a few people beyond Europe. We have a presence in San Francisco for let's say supporting entrepreneurs in the US that want to basically create some business or develop some business in Europe. So we try to help also American companies to come to Europe when it's possible. And also we have a small presence in Israel. For some areas, of course, Israel is quite key to developing new opportunities. So it's where we are basically operating from.
Thank you, Fabio. Sorry for speeding up a little bit, and I kindly ask you others to really briefly present in 2 or 3 sentences. We have a limited time, and we have to stick to schedule, and we have to spare time for our pitch presenters. So, Olivier, short presentation from of you, please. Olivier Chazal from ADEMI.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. So I'm Olivier Chazal from ADEMI. ADEMI is the French Energetical Transition Agency. We support ChangeNOW for this edition, and I'm working in a directory dedicated to companies and innovation. We are very much dedicated to sustainable cities because in ADEMI we work on the field of climate change for a long time, and cities are a big issue for us. So I'm very pleased to see the pitches of the company today.
Thank you. Moving to Christopher Pauline from Schneider Electric. Christopher, welcome.
Thank you, Tatiana. It's Marta Innes. I'm part of the Christopher Pauline's team at Schneider Electric.
Okay.
So Schneider Electric has been a traditional one of the pioneers corporate investors. Impact investors since 2009, and we have different investment vehicles focused on energy poverty, affordable housing, energy services, access to energy. We have a team based in Paris, and we also have a team based in Singapore, focused on Southeast Asia and Asia. And here in Paris, we focus on France and Europe. And we also have a strong participation on an investment fund in Africa, also focus on access to energy. And thank you for having us.
Thank you for your brief and concise presentation. And Baptiste Janik, NCI Venture Capital Investors. Welcome, Baptiste.
Thank you. We are a multi-regional venture capital fund investing from seed to Series A, and mostly based in France. We invest in agri-tech, food tech, and smart cities, and prop tech as well. And I'm a new investor, being I would say 20-year software veteran, either as an entrepreneur or as an entrepreneur in corporate. So happy to be there.
Thank you. So I'm inviting immediately the first pitch session presentation. This is Jazz Park. It's going to be presented by Jeremy Seymour. Jeremy?
Yes, I'm here, and I'm having trouble connecting with the clicker.
You have a problem with the presentation?
Yes, just to click the slides. That's the one thing I'm missing.
Okay, we will see. Okay, the slides is on the screen. You can start as immediately. Okay.
So hi, my name is Jeremy, and I'm delighted to be here today to talk about sustainable cities. Next, please. But first, let me tell you about this specific grain of sand. It's been our purpose for the last 7 years. This grain of sand represents a minor inconvenience, minor bit of friction, because you see, any bit of friction can make a big difference if you encounter it every day. It can make or break a habit, and it can make or break a market. Next, please. For 7 years, we've been working on the parking market. While the streets are packed and the parking lots are empty, we made it easy to find and book a parking spot. Next. And we've been successful at it. We now operate 45,000 parking spots. Next, please. But there's another grain of sand that's been bothering us, and I want to talk about it today. Next. This grain of sand manifested in a metric, and that's 20%. Next, please. In California, 20% of the drivers who went electric are ditching their EVs to go back to the old, dirty, polluting, fuel-injected car. Next. They all had a very good reason, and that's the lack of a solid charging solution. Next, please. Let's take a look at France and try to guess if we're better sorted than the Californians, and spoiler alert, we're not. Next. What we can see is that the market is booming. We're seeing the same excitement for EVs here in France. Next. But we're already facing a harsh problem, a harsh reality. Next, please. While we know that 80% of the charging is done at home, next slide, we have 7 million homeless cars. Next. And in the future, that's 7 million homeless EVs. Next slide, please. Those cars really have no other choice than to turn to public charging stations. But are they really up to standards? Next slide, please. Well, no, there's only one charging station for every 10 cars. Next. And finding one that works is a grain of sand in itself. Next, please. So really, as of today, we need to change our mindset. Home is the new gas station. Next. On-street networks do serve a purpose. They're here for you if you extend your trip over the mileage of your EV. Next. But as you can see, there's really a hole. How do you charge at home when you don't have your own parking spot? Next slide, please. Well, this is where YesPark comes into place. And next slide again. We provide a way to rent a parking spot together with a charging station. In the next slide, you can see that we're equipping our 45,000 spots with high-end charging stations. Next slide. And we're offering charging solutions at price points as low as 39 euros per month. Next
slide. Jeremy, we have to stop.
One slide. There's one more.
Very brief.
Yes, I'll be very brief. That's one sentence. We'll be very happy and all out of grain of sand if we make sure that every EV finds a home. And that means 200,000 charging stations by 2030. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. It was important. Final thoughts. So let's move to the Geoship. It's by Morgan Bierschneck. Sorry, Morgan will present this pitch. Hope Morgan is ready and the slides are also ready. Morgan, Geoship?
So,
no one?
Then could not connect today, so we are going to move to the next solution.
Okay, then we will move to the presentation which is ready. Wudu or Timothy? Timothy?
Yes.
Yes.
Here.
Can you start with your pitch?
Sure. So just the clicker issue.
Okay, let's do.
Okay, let's try the clicker thing.
Yes, try to click and.
Otherwise, I will say next.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So.
Okay. This might not be the first. Just 1 second. It's not the first slide. Yes. Good. All right. So hi everyone, my name is Timothée Boitouzet. I'm the founder of Wudu, a deep tech company which mission is to make wood the material of the 21st century. And this is very urgent because we're facing a big problem. How are we going to build the cities and infrastructures of tomorrow? Because by 2050, we'll be 70% of the world's population to live in cities, and we are already facing today a global shortage of raw materials such as steel to build cars or sand to make concrete. So now everyone, please take a second to think about tomorrow's sustainable cities and how they could be built. Wood is the only material that grows by itself and absorbs CO2 instead of emitting it. And we have huge resource opportunities here in Europe because half of the continent is covered by forests and 50% of wood growing every year is unused. So Wudu will contribute to reviving the forestry sector and transform wood into a high-tech material. Let me tell you how. So wood is a great material to build the future, but it has 4 limits. It burns, it rots, it has limited mechanical resistance, and it is opaque. Wudu has developed 41 patents around removing the weak lignin molecule from wood and replaced it with a bio-based resin to provide a material with incredible new properties. The material becomes as strong as metals, as translucent as glass, weatherproof, and fire resistant. And this is what makes us excited about. So that's a video that will play, hopefully. And so basically, leveraging on the material's tactile properties, as well as formability and translucency, we can transform any wood interior parts for cars, for instance, into a smart display that you can control like your phone. We can as well leverage on the material's mechanical properties to build wooden skyscrapers in the future with a carbon footprint that will be 130 times less than steel. Okay. So next slide. The market opportunity is very large, 45 billion euro TAM for capacitive touch sensing smart surfaces for consumer and mobility, as well as more than 500 billion euro TAM for the construction sector. We are currently having 3 manufacturing sites and recently signed major deals to produce the material at scale. We are now 35 people at Wudu, and we will start fundraising from next week to fuel the company's next stage. Every period of history was marked by a material. If the 19th was the century of steel, the 20th the century of concrete, the 21st century will be the era of wood in the mobility space and building construction space. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you for your really interesting presentation and quite impressive visual, I have to say. Now, my question to organizer is: do we have a geoship ready for presentation, or we will continue with other pitch?
We will continue without them.
Okay, thank you. So then I am inviting Neolith, Nicolas, to come to the stage and to present the pitch.
Okay, let's see if the clicker, yes, it works. Okay, so I'm Nicolas Cruot. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Neolith. At Neolith, we make stones like the one I've got in my hand or in the slides. Those are regular stones. They have the same properties, mechanical properties, and environmental properties as regular stones. But they also have a superpower. They will reduce by 5% the global greenhouse gas emissions. 5% is huge. It's like twice the greenhouse gas emissions due to air traffic. So how does a stone can have such an impact? It's because they are not regular stones extracted from a quarry. They are stones made from non-recyclable waste. That's what we do at Neolith. We turn your waste into stones. Today, when the garbage truck comes to collect your trash, it is either buried or incinerated. There are no other solutions for the non-recyclable waste. With the Neolith process, which we call the fossilization, we can turn the same trash, so plastic, organics, wood, whatever, into a mineral aggregate that can be used for the construction sector as a replacement for natural aggregates, so like concrete or road beds. The fossilization occurs in the fossilizator, which is a modular waste treatment unit that can be sold to the waste recycling platforms, which are sorting the waste and which are forced to dump the non-recyclable waste into landfills or incinerators. The benefits of the solution are simple. For the first one is that we can valorize 100% of the waste into a new material, which is an outstanding improvement in the waste treatment. We also reduce the waste, the CO2 emitted by the waste treatment. We can also relocate the waste treatment thanks to the small capacity of the fossilizators, so we avoid traffic. And we can do this at the same price of landfilling or incinerating. So it doesn't cost any more to be ecological. So we are a manufacturer, fossilizator manufacturer, so we sell them and we sell then the consumable of the process, which is our special kind of cement. And so today we are 20 at Neolith. We have a young management team, excepted for my father, William, which is the inventor of the process. And today, because I'm low of time, today we are at the industrial pilot stage. So we have a small pilot, a small fossilizator. We'll make a small platform, waste treatment platform by this summer, and we'll commercialize our first 8 fossilizators for a revenue of 10 million euros by next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we have another presentation, the last one in this pitch session. It is IMMOblade by Patrick Calais. Patrick?
Yes.
Welcome, Patrick. And let's wait for your slides. They must be ready. Yes, they are. And please feel free to start.
Okay. So, welcome everyone, Patrick Calais. I'm a CEO and co-founder of IMMOblade. At IMMOblade, we work on reducing the carbon footprint of buildings. And we do this by trying to reduce the energy needs of heating and cooling houses and buildings. And all that through energy efficiency and innovative glazing. So it all started here actually. So this is the house my business partner built. So you see a nice house on the southern border of France. The little window you see on the wall is on the west wall. And decided to put the window. In every architecture course, you're told not to install any window or doors on the west side of buildings, because on the west side you've got it's difficult to protect from the sun. You've got the low sun even in summer, and it can be quite hot, so you can overheat your building. So he decided to make this very little tiny window anyway, and he ended up having an issue of overheating. And guess what? It's the same for all kind of building, including building used for professional needs. So the current solutions are either costly to efficient but costly to maintain. That's the external ones, or they are not costly. So it's like suntan glazing. They don't require any maintenance, but they are not very efficient from the energy standpoint. So that's where IMMOblade comes into play. So what we do is that we produce innovating glazing which are customized in order to play on the difference of sun trajectory between summer and winter. And how does it look like? So we insert miniaturized solar protection system within a glazing with a customized angle in order to use the difference of trajectory between summer and winter. So this is the low-tech solution the market's been craving for. Most of the innovation in the window protection market is focused on high-tech, such as so-called smart glass, which tend to be very expensive and with whom you have a maintenance and carbon footprint issue. So at IMMOblade, what we provide is a window protection system with low carbon footprints, no maintenance, and no architectural impact. Currently, we are in commercialization phase, delivering several customers, including well-known names in the French construction market. All solutions been recognized by ADEME, which are on the stage, and as well as Solar Impulse. We've received a label efficient solution from Solar Impulse. Currently, we are moving on the industrialization phase of our company and looking for 1.5 million euros in fundraising to help us get to the new stage.
Thank you, Patrick. With your last message, we are ending this pitch presentation. We have roughly 5 minutes left, so I'm inviting jury members to raise the questions to the pitch presenters. Who is going to start first?
Yes.
Kai, please.
To start, because I would like to give some feedback before we ask questions. Which I think is like first some general feedback to the pitches. As I saw a lot of very interesting deep tech solutions, which I would like to know more about. I would also like to give you the direct feedback of from the investor point of view that from almost all pitches, I was a little bit lacking the direct, specific problem statement that you are focusing on. So when I don't know your solution, when I don't know your tech, I have to see something, an image of a customer in front of me. Okay, who are you? Whose problem are you solving? And what is the problem exactly? So that I get excited, because that is the goal of a short presentation. It's not to be informed about all the details of your product. So that would be great in your next pitches to develop this a little bit more, to focus on the customer problem, to get the audience excited, even if they have no idea about your tech, because some of you are really completely new to me. And so I really invite you to start with the problem statement and then come to the solution in a bit simpler way. Right? But that's a general statement. Then let's move to the questions, of course. I would like to invite everybody, of course, to be a little bit, to ask give their feedback and ask some specific questions about your startup. I pick out Jeremy because I like that you have traction that you show, right? So there's something real behind. What I don't see, so please answer, is what is the long-term vision? So I didn't get really, okay, is it about parking? Is it about charging? Parking might not be a super interesting market because we're moving away from individual vehicles little by little. On the other hand, charging is super interesting but very crowded market. So you could perhaps elaborate a little bit on your long-term vision.
Sure, that's an excellent question, because I believe that in the 2010s, the biggest challenge we faced was to connect demand with offer. And we made that possible through the digitalization of accesses within parking spots. And our goal really was to connect as many parking lots as we could. And that's why today we have 45,000. In the 2020s, we believe that one of the biggest challenges that we face is charging stations, but our vision in the long run and the way we think about our market is that it has to mirror the usage that we make and that we have of cars. Because we don't know what the future is made of in terms of the place of the car in the city, we have to be ahead of the curve. Right now, the market is pushing towards charging station, but what we believe is that in the 2030s, most probably cars won't disappear, but they'll be more connected, they'll be more shared, they'll probably be more autonomous. And those cars, they'll be in need of a connected parking network that will allow a certain amount of services, charging stations, repairs, and so on. So we believe that there'll always be a need for parking, parking space, parking capacity close to the cities, and we're trying to stay ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve in terms of usage.
In one word, because we have to move to the other ones. In one word.
Sorry. Sorry. As a moderator here, I have to interfere a little bit because we are running out of the time, and I would like to ask maybe somebody from jury to ask really brief and quick question for the last minute, and as well that the answer be in the brief manner as well.
Maybe I can go very quickly.
Yes.
Question for Wudu. So if you want to replace construction material with woods, I think one of the questions is how you grow the wood in a sustainable way, in terms of speed, in terms of cost, and in terms of space, land. So what is the special recipe there? And if we have time, I'd be interested to understand a bit more your business model, because it was, we didn't have time, but it was not clear.
Thank you very much for the question. So for to answer it, so we are not we don't plant trees. We get the wood supplies from either sawmill professionals or other professionals involved in the field. So basically, we receive either planks or veneers, and then we transform it at the molecular level to provide it with new properties. So per your question, actually we have a massive availability of wood in Europe. In France, for instance, we've never had as much wood since the Middle Age, and 50% of wood growing every year is unused. And of those, it's mainly what we call low-grade wood, which are beech, birch, pine, aspen. Everybody loves, oak and walnut and so on, but there are many different wood species that literally have no markets because they are too porous, they are too weak, they are too fragile. So we can leverage all these wooden species, and through our process, because basically we assemble things, we craft these advanced materials. And per your question about our business model, our job is basically to manufacture the material and sell it per square meter. So we are on an industrial model which is grounded on outsourcing, as well as our technology with manufacturing partners in order to scale up aggressively. So we have 3 manufacturing sites now to face demand and deliver our clients. So this is basically our business model.
Thank you, Timothy. Here we will end with your last words about business model. It requires much more time than we have on disposal. Thank you, everybody, for your great input to this session, and please join your networking. And I officially say that this session is closed. Wish you a nice day with the ChangeNOW and following events. Thank you and goodbye for everybody. Bye.
Don't forget to bye-bye. Bye-bye.